Boning's Tip of the Week is brought to you by the Chameleon Quiver. You know, one thing that's vitally important to all of us hunters is that when we go to a different state, to make sure that we understand their regulations, no matter how much different they might be than where you're used to hunting. You've got some states that will not allow you to use a lighted knock. Now, how silly is that? I mean, a lighted knock is basically used to see where your arrow's going. We want to see if our arrow hits the animal. We'd like to find our arrow after we shoot it to see if there's any blood or any hair on it. I guess they consider it electronic, but come on, man, it's not an electronic. All you're doing is being able to see your arrow. You've got some states that won't allow hunting on Sundays. Well, what about the guy that works 9 to 5, Monday through Friday? You're gonna leave him one day out of the week to hunt? I mean, that just seems silly also. Then probably my biggest pet peeve are the states that don't let kids hunt until they're of an age that we've already lost them. I'll give you an example. I love, one of my favorite states to hunt is Wyoming. And I was having dinner with Dave and Jan Nelson this past fall, and we were talking about I couldn't wait to get Whitley to come out. And they were like, well, it's gonna be a while. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, in the state of Wyoming, you have to be 12 years old before you're allowed to hunt. Really? 12 years old? With today's technology and all the apps and the video games, I mean, if we don't have our kids at least have the opportunity to give them a choice to like hunting and want to be in the outdoors, by the time they're 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever the parents feel is the right age to have them out, we're going to lose them. Another law that just makes no sense to me is Iowa. I can't take my daughter there with a crossbow. She can hunt with a gun, but she can't use a crossbow during gun season or youth season. A lot of kids don't want to hear the boom and are afraid, like my daughter who's 6 years old. She's too scared to shoot a gun yet, but she will shoot a crossbow and she loves it. This isn't saying anything bad about guns. Later down the road, as she grows and gets bigger, because she's already introduced to the outdoors and wants to go out and hunt, she'll probably pick up a gun and want to start shooting it. But those rules they make no sense. Just like some of the states that don't allow mechanical broadheads. It's crazy. It's 2014, man. Some of the best broadheads out there are mechanical heads. We need to get out of the dark ages with some of these laws and actually look at how we're going to grow this sport and get more people involved. I urge all of you to make sure before you go out of state, check the laws. Even if you don't agree with them, you've got to abide by them. And let's get some of these laws changed. Some of them are awful silly.